Hello and welcome to the Third and Long podcast. As always, I'm here with Trent Dilfer's number one fan, Phil Perrins, and it's nice to see that we have our other two hosts back. Ollie, how was Boston?
Boston was literally out of this world, mate. I've never had so much fun in my life. Yeah. I feel about 17 stone heavier because, like, jack potatoes are the size of my head, for example. But yeah, it was out of this world. It's absolutely awesome. If you ever get to go anywhere, go to Boston. I really recommend it so much.
I'd second that. Boston is an amazing city.
Oh yes. How are we all? It is so nice to have you see your faces all again. Admittedly.
All right, sorry. Yeah. I got to be honest, Ollie. I will say two things. A, it's nice to have you back.
I'm not
And
talking
B,
to you.
oh, we will get to that shortly. I was going to say, I'm digging the new intro. I got to be honest. I am digging it.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh yes, I had to put your smiling faces on it. You know, I couldn't.
You've been teasing it to me for a while, so I'm glad we got it now.
Yeah, I put it on there. Got your lovely faces, so you can now follow all four of us on Twitter. Our things are on there. We are gonna. Well, I'm gonna try and be a little bit more active on us on Twitter, and we can see what we can do. How are we, gentlemen? It is lovely to see you all again.
Yeah, I'm excited. Good week of football. Football back in the UK. It's going to be a good week.
Oh,
Actually, I mean, I'm sorry if I'm not talking as much at the moment. I'm just currently enjoying fresh cup of bench warmer brew coffee.
It's not from old Butty. It's not old Butty Brandon Purna's coffee, is it, Phil?
Oh well, I don't want to name drop, but I do say that it's not just any old rubbish that I put in my body when it comes to coffee. But when it comes to coffee, I like to put the elite level stuff in. So just
let me guess. That's good coffee.
This isn't even an ad.
No.
But it's not your face, that's fine.
It's that good of a brand that I'm willing to shill to a person that I've never met about his brand of coffee.
Hey, we're more than welcome to put his brand on there if you want to sponsor the show. That's more than welcome. Even though I'm not a coffee drinker myself.
I mean, I'd even take free coffee.
Oh god, yeah.
That's my favorite type of drink. Free.
Yeah, it's going to be a busy show, and the physio room has made its reappearance.
It is so full. Shall we start with this week's news?
It's full of Chargers players.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it was like watching the opening of Saving Private Ryan, wasn't it? Like all those Chargers players going down, all those units lost. A moment of silence.
Now you know how we felt last year. Touch wood. It's not too bad for us yet. Michael Pierce out for the severe. Other than that, not too bad.
Don't worry, Shane. We knew how we felt last year because it happened to us 2 years ago.
Yeah,
touch wood. Never had that. We just got to quote Belichick and go as day by day. Day by day.
You said that was too much expression, Ollie.
I say we start with the shirt he's wearing and start with Mr. Jones.
Oh yes, Mr. Jones. I've never seen so much pain in a video or a picture that I've seen after this guy's face.
And he only had a sprained ankle. I mean, man the fuck up.
Yeah, and now it looks like he's going to be... I'll mute you.
I haven't said anything yet.
And that's for you. No, I mean, it was definitely... You can see him limping off the pitch at the end, and we all go, that's not good. That's Mac. That's not good. He is taking reps today, apparently. I have no idea how, but what are you doing, man? But yeah, that's going to be an interesting one. But LA Chargers are foobarred, shall we say. I don't think it's going to be interesting how they're going to go from that. Obviously, they've got an injured quarterback. They've now got their main pass rushers out. The left tackle, I want to say. Is he left tackle or is he right tackle?
It's left tackle.
Sletter's out. You know, that's two big key players out or injured. They've got a couple of other players out, pick up injuries left, right, and centre. That team is starting to get heavily depleted, and it's not looking good.
And I mean, with with not fully fit Justin Herbert, not fully fit Keenan Allen, not fully fit JC Jackson.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on the likes of Khalil Mack and Eckler and the other DB, and I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
Mike Williams, Derwin James.
Derwin James, that's the one. There's a lot of pressure on these now. We know, I want to say it's Chad Hurd, isn't it? Is it Chase Hurd, the backup, the ex-Kansas Chief quarterback?
I mean,
backup?
Herbert's going to play.
Yeah, Herbert is going to play, but he looked, apart from one throw, which was ridiculously across his body, they showed it on the screen, the whole stadium went, crap, that's a hell of a throw.
Yeah.
Despite that one throw, he's not moving himself. He wasn't, throws weren't going as they were. Still making me laugh. I can see Trent Dilfer on the aim of film.
Right, can we get this, I wasn't going to bring attention to it, but can you just get that off me? Because it's embarrassing. Like, I'm not. No. I really don't want to talk about 49ers quarterbacks this week. So can we? That's much better. That's much better. I can relax.
Yeah, let's ease him into this week. I mean, maybe the Texans could pick them off with this amount of injuries. Saying that, if it was a decent side, they probably would. But the Texans, the
Jags did.
Yeah,
The Jags, to be fair,
the Jags are okay now. They've got a coach who knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
yeah.
Micah Hyde's a big one for Buffalo.
Yeah, it's massive.
He's like their captain, their leader in that defense.
He's out for the season, isn't he?
Again, he was out for a lot of last season as well.
I would never wish an injury on any player, but obviously it's good news for us this week. Yeah. And can I just get this off my chest? Can I get this off my chest now so it's done, and then I can just leave it?
Where's that mute button?
No. Thank you, bud. So yeah, we played really well last week. Ollie, what was the atmosphere like in the stadium when? Right.
The atmosphere was absolutely brilliant, and Kelly will back this up for I've been to all the London games, bar like a couple, and the atmosphere in them is brilliant. But an atmosphere in a proper game is second to none. I mean,
it's so different, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's so different. I mean, you actually got fans who like 80,000 fans who actually know what they're cheering for, not just cheering because majority of the stadium are cheering for. On about that game. 3 dodgy PIs not picked up. Yes, Kelly cried at the national anthem.
I wouldn't blame her. It's better than the Welsh one anyway.
Yeah, there was 3 PIs picked on that wasn't picked on Devontae Parker, and why wasn't there a roughing and passing call when Mac Jones was out of bounds and got pushed to the ground?
Because Mac Jones dived on the ground.
We
all saw on red zone. He dived onto the ground.
As I said to you, I'm going to agree to disagree with you because where we looked, I was pretty much in front of that. Myself and Kelly were pretty much in front of that. And I go, why is he not throwing the flag for that? He's been pushed. There was hands on his back.
He dived. Even Scott Hansen said he dived.
So what was it like to be? What was it like being in the presence of greatness, LJ himself? Matt
Judon was awesome.
Oh,
what
was Belichick like?
I mean, I was in the presence of greatness last year. I mean, I saw Kirk Cousins.
You'll see him again this weekend, mate.
Yeah, I know.
It was. Yeah, it's absolutely. John, the result wasn't fun either, mate. It really wasn't fun.
I mean, I don't think John has much place to talk about results at the moment, to be honest.
I could quite happily change the predictions, but Las Vegas in there so we can all back them so they can lose again, John, if that's what you want. Going back to the injuries issues. This came out a bit of left field because it wasn't a football injury. It was Myles Garrett apparently driving 20 miles an hour, avoiding an animal in the wet.
No, not 20 miles per hour. 20 miles per hour over the speed limit.
In the wet.
Shit. Things could have been a lot worse then.
65, going 65 in a 45.
Yeah. It's a bit stupid. I know he's now got shoulder strain, bicep strain, lacerations, cuts. Don't know why they call it lacerations. They can't just call it cuts. Americans for you.
Yeah, but lacerations are like bad cuts.
It's still a cut. Still bleeds the same way.
But put a plaster on and get on with it.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
But
saying? I haven't
it is
crossed
going to
with
affect
him.
the way he plays, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah.
I don't think he will play.
You think he's going to miss out?
I don't think he will play this weekend.
Who they got this weekend? I can't remember off the top of my head now. Who they got?
Browns, I will tell you. Falcons.
Ah, it wouldn't matter.
If they had a good team, they may actually play him, but I don't think they need to risk it.
Yeah. I
No.
didn't realise that Hutch wasn't playing for the Lions against Vikings.
Did he
I
not?
didn't realise he... No, he wasn't playing.
We didn't. Oh, never.
He was...
To be fair, they hardly showed it on Red Zone.
They did, yeah.
which was mad. I mean, we looked at watching on the stadium. It was like they're 20 points up at one point. What's
Yeah.
going on? And then Kirk Cousins decided he remembered he can throw a football again by the looks of it.
Yeah, but
It's not Monday, is it?
No, that's very true. That's very true. I mean, it is. I want to bring something up that Odell Beckham's mentioned because obviously
Is this a
Sterling
Pickens
Shepherd.
catch?
No, Sterling
Oh,
Shepherd. Sterling Shepherd
is this turf?
about turf.
Yeah.
Now, I've played on 4G and I've had 2 serious knee injuries being on 4G. I've had a ruptured and a dislocation. It does seem to be, it's a case of now, obviously Odell Beckham went down in the Super Bowl non-contact. Sterling Shepherd went down through non-contact. These pitches, yes, they're easier to maintain and they're better and all that as well, but they do not have any give in the pitch.
Yeah.
So,
No.
you know, what Odell Beckham said is he wants turf abolished and bring back grass.
Yeah, he said the tweet was there are billions made out this game. Why can't we just play on grass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, going off the back of like that as well, Ollie. A couple of years ago, I was playing on a turf. It was 4G down by me. I did my Achilles and I was out for the entire season. I played 3 games and that was me done. I literally, like, despite like having like the pads, the support, the gel bottoms, they're long injuries to get over. And once you've gotten over it, it's very easy to fall back into it. And we talk about like our football over here, our soccer, and all top tier Premier League teams have proper pitch, they have proper grass, they have proper, you know.
In the football league, it's a requirement to have a grass pitch.
Absolutely.
There is a couple in the non-leagues in the the conference I play.
But top 4 leagues all have to be grass pitch.
And we talk about like the NFL stadium, and the billions that come with it as well. And I'm in total agreement with Odell because I remember it was about 3 years ago, Ollie, that we lost nearly. I mean, we tanked because all of our players went down in the first couple of games of the season.
Yeah.
One was against the Jets, where they play on horrible turf. I mean, a lot of the NFL stadiums play in domes anyway. So if
we played the Giants and the Jets 2 weeks in a row and lost loads of players at MetLife Stadium because of the turf.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, I remember that now. It was about it's the year that you ended up like 2nd or 3rd overall, isn't it? Something stupid, like, wasn't it?
I don't think it was that bad.
No, we were pretty bad.
We were pretty bad, but we weren't. Like,
but I'm trying to think of that draft position because we were really bad. Like, it was the year we'd already had Bosa, or did we not have Bosa then?
No, we did have Bosa. Bosa did his ACL.
Bosa was one. It was one that Jimmy went down as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, that could be any game. To be fair, Ollie, that could be any game.
But no, I mean, what I'm saying is
that when we drafted? We traded back.
I apologise. It's going back into a Niners podcast following from Monday night show.
And took Javon Kinlaw.
No, but either way, I mean, we can go back onto this at a later date when we talk about like the 49ers and how hopeless we are. But yeah, it is. I can't believe that we have some NFL teams.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly.
Pretty much like this season coming under Jimmy.
Kelly, how's Mac Jones doing?
Hey, he might be playing Sunday, according to the reports.
Yeah.
He's a number 10 quarterback that I would rather have playing for our team than our current number 10 quarterback.
I'd rather have Jimmy.
I would rather have Mac, and it's not even a joke.
Yeah, but you have some vendetta against Jimmy now.
Yeah, because he's a trash bag human being.
Right, I'm going to put something out here. Right. 2 of the throws that Mac made on Sunday.
I wasn't asking about Joe Burrows. I wasn't asking about Joe Burrows.
About Mac playing on Sunday. One was into the end zone. The problem is, Mac was trying to force the game because he's not getting the coaching.
Do you want to know what happened on
Be back in
Sunday?
New England by the end of the season anyway, so it's not a problem.
Mac Jones crumbled.
Mac Jones crumbled because hasn't got any good wide receiving core, and he hasn't.
This should be
got coaching.
I should be saying these things. You lot.
Oi, I'm trying to get it right. You get it right in a minute. That one in the bottom right corner. Lamar threw 2 bad picks.
He did, I know. And I never said that his throwing's perfect. His throwing is always a work in progress. He is more of a scrambling running back.
I would say, yes, Lamar threw 2 bad picks, but both the Mac Jones picks were crucial parts of the game.
Agreed.
Crucial drives.
But this is where
Lamar's
where it's the 4th down.
Yeah.
Kick the field goal. Take the point. Don't try and force the touchdown. There was one where the 2-point conversion where he ran it in. Brilliant bit of play of Stevenson keeping the ball alive, and they ruled him down. He wasn't down. You could see daylight between his knee and bloody when he was releasing the ball. Ridiculous calls, but they weren't They weren't challenging it. It's like would have kept us in the game.
There we go. Finally, some peace.
After the Dolphins lost for us, it's always
just stop him moaning about the refs.
Yeah, I'll stop now. Anyway, you weren't happy about the refs on one point. You sent me a picture of Nick Bosa being held again.
Well, Bosa gets held every week, so it's just
every game.
You watch every line pass rusher, they get held.
Yeah.
Let's roll on to the news. And there's the first bit of news. I know someone who's like to my left is rather happy. I think he kind of likes this one. Not as much as it would be if it was Taylor Swift.
Yeah, well, that was the rumor, wasn't it?
Yeah. You were quite happy about that one. What do you reckon of Rihanna doing halftime? I think I spelled it right.
I hope she brings somebody with her. Maybe Drake.
Drake, Eminem.
He done it last year, didn't he? I mean, it's in Arizona when they have somebody who is relevant to the area, like say if for argument's sake they have it in the Bay Area, in San Francisco, Metallica would be the operative choice.
Oh,
I'm slightly biased in saying that.
Except when they did it in San Francisco, they had Coldplay.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
That well-known West Coast band, Coldplay.
Well, it's like when they had it in Miami as Prince, and he's from Minnesota.
Yeah, but to be fair,
it's Prince
of all time.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure about this because a couple of Rihanna songs, not too bad, but Rihanna could end up being a bit risque, a bit Janet Jackson.
Janet Jackson-y. I get you.
Yeah. Just don't have Justin Timberlake dancing around you and you'll be all right.
I'm assuming she'll have like strict instructions.
Phil, hold your hand up patiently.
It's
teacher.
part and parcel because obviously for our listeners and as well I teach media studies, and when we think about like the brand of the NFL and especially of the halftime show, it becomes less about what the casual footballing fans will watch, like us, like Metallica or big rock bands and things like that. I mean, because I'm a proper little emo boy. I would love to see someone like Green Day if it is in California because they are from the West Coast.
That would work.
So, but it becomes more of a branding thing, and this is kind of like where sometimes fans overlook this because the halftime show isn't actually for the NFL fans.
Yeah,
because the halftime show is when they put on all the major adverts for the films, the products, the TV, all these things like that. So that halftime show is actually for the casuals that aren't necessarily there to watch the football or only watch one NFL game a year, which is the Super Bowl. Because if you look at the TV rating, the Super Bowl is the biggest thing that's watched every year in America.
It's to get viewers, so they're not going to pick They're not going to pick like as much as Metallica are great. I'm not a Metallica fan. Metallica have a smaller following than say Rihanna or Taylor Swift. So what they're going to do is they're going to put them on to get the views.
She will.
And then it's all about things like trending because I mean I'm a massive NFL fan. My parents are massive NFL fans, but my sisters aren't. But my sister Sam, shout out if you're listening, Sam. She likes Rihanna. Like that's kind of her bag. So she'll know via osmosis that the Super Bowl's on because she would have known that Rihanna is on. So
she'll set an alarm for about 1:30 on the 13th of February then, yeah?
Or she'll watch it on YouTube next morning, like when they pull the full show. So I'm not Rihanna's I mean, I like Rihanna. I use a lot of her music videos in my media studies lessons because she is quite risque.
You get to
and
burp on her for about 5 minutes.
absolutely. I mean, it's all about male gratification. It's all about male gratification, especially with like someone who was well known as a sex appeal symbol like Rihanna. So it doesn't really bother me because I know it's not really for me.
Yeah.
And she's got some bangers. She's got like Umbrella, and she's got that song that she did with Eminem and all the other stuff. But I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I'm just going to enjoy it regardless. It's going to be better than Coldplay.
Well, I really like Coldplay's, but while we're talking about the halftime show, I feel like we should mention that it's no longer sponsored by Pepsi. It's now sponsored by Apple Music.
Yeah, I completely forgot to put that on there.
Apple Music halftime show.
That's going to sound really weird. It's going to take a couple of to get used to it, isn't it?
It's going to be a mouthful for the commentators.
Yeah, welcome to Apple. It's obviously been, it wasn't even it came a little bit left field because it wasn't announced that Pepsi are coming to the end of their tender or anything like that. It was right. It's just Apple are now sponsors. It was impossible.
It also might be as well because gone.
It's the same with the Steelers Stadium naming rights. No one really knew.
Yeah.
Heinz deal was coming to an end. The next thing you know,
I mean, we also if it's a thing about like the rights or the contracts, we also take for granted that the Super Bowl is going to happen about 6 weeks after the World Cup, and Pepsi will be sponsoring the World Cup. So it literally could be, what do they want to put their money in the bigger basket, the World Cup or the Super Bowl?
Didn't think of it that way. Didn't actually think of that way.
I actually saw a tweet the other day. So it said, Americans think the Super Bowl is the biggest sporting event in the world, yet there were more fans at the 2019 Checker Trade Trophy final between two League One teams than there were at the Super Bowl last year.
I saw that.
Yeah, the stadium holds more though.
Yes, but
okay.
still.
I get what you mean. I mean, the Super Bowl tickets are ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah.
I mean, we say over here for like when with our football and obviously the rise in like living crisis, all the things like that in our economy. But when you do look at like the Super Bowl tickets, it's not even like a working man's sport anymore. They're ridiculously expensive. So unless I was a multi-millionaire, I wouldn't. I mean, I love the Super Bowl. I love watching the Super Bowl. Would I go to a Super Bowl if I could afford it? But if I'm going to go all the way over to there, I'm going to spend the big bucks to get the big accommodation. I wouldn't want to spend a lot of money than sit in the gods and be all cold and everything. But
yeah, you want to be
in
the middle at least, or I mean, what seats I had were really good. You were in the mid tier. You had good view. I mean, when I'm at Wembley, I'm literally 8 rows back in the corner, like next to the tunnel where the players come out. Absolutely love it, but it's really good. But when the play's down the other end, you're watching the screen more than thing because you can see it more. When you're in that middle section, it is much better because I could see quite happily what's going on. I could see Mac's touchdown run, clear as day. I mean, Ollie would vouch for me when we were at Tottenham. It was so good. Sitting that high up, watching Zach like literally throw the ball wrong way.
Yeah.
It's quite a nice segue to our next bit of news, actually. He's back. Zach is back.
I'm excited to see him.
I'm actually I'm gonna change my prediction. I think from what I've gone to now, he's being classed as back because I think Jets under Flacco is a bit more one-dimensional than they would be under Zach because Zach is much more scrambling, more moving around. I mean, you spent so many years watching Joe in Baltimore, you know what he's going to be like.
Indeed, 100%. He is very much a pocket passer. I liken him, as much as I hate to say it, to Ben Roethlisberger. Big physical bloke, not much movement to him, but when he wants to throw it, boy, he can throw it,
An old guard quarterback, Brady, Manning, Jimmy. You could even put Mac in that because he's Matt Ryan. Aaron Rodgers.
Carson Wentz, Trent Dilfer,
The ones that will sit in the pocket and pass it. And if they have to scramble, they will scramble. They're only going to scramble 2 or 3 yards to get a down or to get, to get out of the pocket, get sacked, avoid a sack. But Zach opens the playbook up for New York now so much more. And I don't think especially without TJ Watt, I don't think Steeler defense will be able to do it as well as they can. But we'll talk about that when we get to prediction week.
Air Debo time.
Oh yes, Air Debo. I had to put this one in for you boys. Yes.
Air Debo.
Would you like
So-
to lead on this one, Ollie? Because
No,
I don't know much about this
I
deal.
don't know much about it either. I think he's gonna do some-
Yeah, I'm literally about to come to you. I saw his Twitter and I saw his Instagram, and then you said, and then you screenshot and sent it to us. I go, oh sweet, all right, Ollie can tell us a little bit more. About
nothing's been announced about it. All we know is that he's signed with Jordan.
Which is
Okay.
quite a big deal, isn't it? Because that is the
I'd
of
assume shoes or something, but
yeah, because is quite a big sports brand. They're a common.
oh, Jordan's massive. Whenever
Yeah.
when NBA 2K whatever, you always get a choice between Under Armour, Adidas, Nike, and Jordan, and I always pick Jordan. Just
I'd always go with Under Armour. I love my Under Armour stuff. But that's
Me
just
too.
me. Oh, okay. I thought you knew a little bit more about that, Ollie.
no, there's been. I looked
Oh.
earlier, and there's been hardly anything announced.
Just
Um,
looking into it now. Just looking into it myself.
Xavier Rhodes has found himself a landing spot, or via the practice squad. I think this is a good signing for the Bills. I like Xavier Rhodes. I think he's a very good defensive back.
He is getting
very
old though.
I don't think that's a problem. Not for him. I really don't think, because he's one of these older, wiser centre back who reads the game so well. It's almost like he knows where the wide receivers are going to go before they know where he's going to go. If you know what I mean.
Oh, I really thought you were going to say like Stephen Gilmore. Then I was just waiting for a Gilmore drop.
Oh, I do love Gilly, but and he did have a pick against I want to say the Bills, but it wasn't the Bills. Colts, whoever the Colts are playing on Sunday night. Can't remember.
Jags.
Jags. He has had a pick
No, it
this season.
wasn't the Jags. The
No, it
Jags
wasn't. It was.
beat
It was the Chiefs. It was the Chiefs.
Chiefs. That was it. He did have the game-winning pick against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Which Noah wasn't too happy about it. He sent me a message midway through the game. We're winning, you're not. It's like, cheers, Noah. Really wanted to see that one. Josh McDaniels. Is he
He is
above-
living on borrowed time.
Is he swimming out of his depth?
If John's watching, I'd love to know what John thinks.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I've paid attention to this since talking about it with Ollie on Monday. And I still stand by kind of what I was saying on Monday night. Whatever we feel about the Raiders organization and the Davises, who have run the team for over 50 years and owned them for about 40 odd years, or closer to 50 years as well. He will be given the season.
Yeah.
Because one thing the Raiders will do is that they do believe in building. They don't like. I mean, if you look at the traditional model of the Raiders is that they like to build, and they spent a lot of money. Another thing that Raiders fans can never accuse the organization of doing. But I am really alarmed. But I don't think McDaniels is the problem.
Yeah.
I think Carr is the problem.
Yeah, well, that's a great segue actually, because I saw a rumor today saying that actually the Raiders are shopping Carr and the Panthers and the Colts are interested.
My problem is
Wow.
who they got as number 2.
Jared Stidham.
Oh.
Again, who have they got as number 2? This guy hasn't played any starts in the NFL. He's done since '83. Yeah, okay, John. I mean, I've seen Stidham play in the NFL for Patriots 2 seasons. Well, 1 because he was out injured for pretty much all of it. Obviously, Josh McDaniels knows him because he bought him from New England.
Mhm.
My problem is with Josh McDaniels, he had to go head coach in Denver. How well did that go? And where did he end back up? Exactly. He ended it back in New England.
As I said on Monday, he wasn't successful in Denver. Nothing's changed. Why would he be successful in Las Vegas?
I'm genuinely surprised he took the job because, let's be honest, Ollie, Bill's gonna leave at the end of the season, isn't he?
The chatter around the stadium is, and around from what they were saying and what I overheard on radios in Boston. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't.
Yeah. Whether or not it's by decision or whether or not that decision is made for him. So I'm genuinely surprised because McDaniels would have known, like last year, coaches will, that succession plan of like, yo, listen up, Josh, I'm not going to be here that much longer. Maybe this is your thing, kiddo. I could just imagine Bill having that conversation with him. So unless he felt like he had to prove himself and then come back.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like I want it to work because John, I love Marcus Allen. Like every 49ers fan, well, most 49ers fan, Ollie. I have a Raiders jersey hanging up in my closet. I just love everything that the silver and black represented of being the bad guys, being the arseholes of the NFL. So I want them to do well, but I don't think it's the right fit. And like I said, I think also that Carr is also the problem.
I get you. I completely and utterly get where you're coming from.
I was surprised about that he didn't get the job.
After the firing of Chucky, he did really well to keep them together because
he got them to the playoffs.
The fire that Chucky created in that Raiders organization, and he came in, he stabilized them, he got them to the playoffs, and lo and behold, the quarterback didn't necessarily help them when they got there. But I thought he was massively shafted. I really did.
Just out of interest, Ollie, who do you think will be the next Patriots coach if Belichick does leave? Do you think it'll be Patricia?
Not Patricia.
So I've said I would love Flores to come in. Brian Flores to come in. The whole issue is if Bill goes, we would need to get rid of him completely. He would need to go completely. Head coach, because he's head coach and GM.
Yeah.
So we would need a GM. If we can't get Flores, I'd love one of the young college quarterbacks. I love the college head coach. I love the Notre Dame head coach.
Because Notre Dame are doing so well this season.
Yeah, well, I really like how he gets them playing. I really like.
But they're not doing very well.
What about Jim Harbaugh?
Who?
Jim Harbaugh.
I don't know. Yes, Michigan, that Michigan connection. Yes, he's been there and all that.
Yes, John. You do need to trust the organization's decision.
But the thing is,
Davis, you trust.
Problem is, we've got no head coach. We've got no OC. We've got no DC. I would love Flores to come in with Hoyer as OC and Jared Mayo as DC. I would love
let me tell you the only point I have on this. McDaniels will only leave if he is shown the door because he won't leave on his own unless there's some sort of scandal in the Raiders organization, which doesn't happen very often, does it?
Yeah, I was about to say it's the Raiders.
I haven't heard an dodgy Raiders thing happen this season yet.
Yeah, but it's the Raiders, so it's not out of the question.
What they do?
Yeah. The thing is, though, what was said behind the closed doors on Monday? Well, it happened Sunday, and it was like Sunday, Monday, isn't it? Closed doors interview, conversations are normally what the duck is going on in here. Why are we so crap? Etc. 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 Get your arse in gear. Blah. It's normally a knuckle racking, a spank. No, not spanking. That's a completely different thing.
All right, perfect. Why you got it back? That is your business.
A bit of beatings and all that. It isn't. It's crap, isn't it? You're gonna get. It's poor. It really is poor.
Anyway, let's move on from Ollie talking about that.
Yes, go on then.
We move on to players of the week.
Yes, I am just doing something very quickly because I've noticed something haven't happened. There you go. Right. I would like to give Philip the first go on Mr. Lawrence.
All right. So I am not a massive fan of giving players of the week to quarterbacks because they get enough praise as it is from like any NFL spokesperson or presenter, or if you listen to like the Pat McAfee show or Howard and all that kind of stuff. However, he came into the season last year with grave he was being compared to Peyton Manning, the entire season. When he got drafted, it was the next best thing, the new thing, the best thing. He's going to be the greatest quarterback. He's going to surpass Tom Brady. He's going to be better than Montana. Like, these are the things that people were saying about Trevor Lawrence. And Urban Meyer, regardless of how we feel about him as a person, as a human being, destroyed him. Like
Shot
set,
him.
threw him to the dogs, threw him under the bus. It was horrible to the point where I got to a stage last year when I went, I don't think it's not even rookie syndrome. It was just like he's not all that. He's not as great as everyone says he is. Lo and behold, this season he's played it's almost like it's a different player. And the weekend against who is the player the weekend? Indianapolis.
No, they
Yes,
didn't.
just not
It
Indianapolis.
was the
it's,
Chargers.
Chargers. Yeah, Chargers.
I mean,
sorry.
again, the Chargers, another AFC West team that is massively underperforming. But this is the Chargers who everybody was saying was going to be a strong force going into the season. And Trevor Lawrence absolutely dissected them. Like, he was brilliant. Not just from his passing, not just from his touchdowns, but like his game management as well. I mean, this is a 23-year-old that's playing like he's already a 10-year vet. I mean, I know we're only 3 games.
He knew when to take timeouts for starters.
Exactly. I mean, he knew. He knew. I mean, and he's only going to get better. And like I said, I think it was like last week, he's playing well now because the next time his contract comes up for renewal, I don't think he's going to be staying in Jacksonville.
No.
Okay?
Unless Jacksonville goes to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not anti-con organization. I like the Jaguars. I like the Jaguars a lot. But he will have his eye on bigger teams that will need established quarterbacks, whether or not that is something like New England or Green Bay or Denver or San Francisco. So I just thought he was brilliant. The last couple of weeks and Sunday in particular, phenomenal.
While we're talking about rookies that made a jump, or second-year players that made a jump.
Yeah. How
Devonta Smith.
Oh my God, yes.
What a game he had last week.
Yep.
The fact he almost died on one of his catches.
Yeah.
He's got body slammed to one of the end zone. I think that's coming up a bit later on, but there was a couple of he was. I mean, I've seen 3 of his catches.
8 receptions, 169 yards, 1 touchdown, longer 45, averaging 21 yards a play. Not bad.
Yeah, I mean, I had him on my bench this week as well against Ollie's dad, and it's like, damn, there's 30 points.
Don't worry, you still thrashed my dad.
Yeah, I did. It was like, boom. And I was like, wow, it's like first quarter, he's already scored 15 points.
Kelly beat me too.
Yes. Oh, yeah, he's superb. I mean, going on to the catch of the week is a bit of a preview. There is a Devonta Smith catch in catch of the week, which is one of those. Shane, you have gone for Mr. Jalen Hurts.
I have, yes. He played fantastically well, even though it's just against the Commanders. He still passed for. He still passed for. There was 22 pass attempts, 340 yards, 3 touchdowns. I think he's really coming into his own now, and the fact that he rushed for 20 yards as well is always adding to that offensive explosiveness. I definitely think he's going to be one to watch. But I will also say as well, I didn't want to give it favoritism. I wanted to pick somebody differently. But also shout out to my number 8, who played incredibly well, who's playing for a contract. Either he stays with us next year, hopefully he will. But if he keeps playing like this, there's no reason why he doesn't deserve the stupid money he's asking for. But as I said, fantastic.
I think it shows how well the Eagles' offense played that you picked the quarterback and I picked one of the wide receivers for the Eagles.
Yeah. To be fair, Jalen Hurts last season didn't look anywhere good as this Jalen Hurts. I even was expecting him not to start this year. I was expecting Gardner to start. He has.
Ollie, I'm not sure if you remember
in some of MVP conversations.
Ollie, I'm not sure if you remember back before last season, but I said that Jalen Hurts was the best quarterback in the NFC East.
I do remember you vaguely saying something about him being a good quarterback. I kind of shot it down.
You and Tom both shot it down.
Last season, this season, season 1, season 2 he was shocking. I would have put him. I think I've even put him in the bottom dozen of my.
I think you might need to go back and see where you put him on the quarterback index we did.
I'll have to have a look at. I've got it in here somewhere. I'll have a look at him while we're talking. But the way he's playing at the moment, he is playing very good. Like I said, he is in MVP conversation. I actually put him 23rd. I do. I actually put him above Zach Wilson. Bloody hell. So yeah, people are saying he's in MVP conversation. To go on to Lamar for 40 minutes of that game, we kept him quiet. Hence why I have chosen my player of the week, as in Dietrich Wise Jr. 6 tackles, 3 sacks. Your O-line couldn't stop him.
Of course, Ollie picks a Patriots player.
I was there. I was there. You know, not only that, but Devontae Parker has finally come out.
What, has he?
Yeah.
Has he?
I thought that would have been bigger news, Ollie.
Came out as a player. You know, he's had his breakout game. He was absolutely, he was superb. JR.
Either way, we're so proud of him that he came out that way.
Yeah. I'm still jet lagged. Leave me alone, man. You know, he's finally had a game. He was 6 catches for 120 odd yards. Should have had a touchdown, but past, PI was, the DB was all over him. It was shocking, but yeah, Dietrich Wise, we were like, wow, we were expecting Jude to make a mess of, your O-line, but Wise was literally every hole that you left open, he was there, bang. Every time Lamar tried to make a run, he was there, bang. He was superb. He didn't, and then I think it was tiredness or something like that, and then they must have changed something around, and then Lamar just started the last 5 minutes at the end of the third quarter and like the start of the fourth quarter. Lamar was superb. I'll say that.
Good and great.
Oh yes. We are now rolling on to Catch of the Week contenders. All right, as he's wrapping the shirt, we'll put him first. Go on then.
Who's going out there, right? And then you've got Bradley Chubb running in perfect coverage. And now look at.
I mean,
before we get done.
Yeah, as the commentator said, Bradley Chubb is in perfect coverage. Juice is a big guy, and the toe tap swag he gets.
Toe swag drag.
It's an absolute incredible catch by a fullback.
And
we all know how much I love Juice with the shirt.
Oh yes.
Juice.
Phil, over to you, sir.
So I nominated 2, so I'm just going to remember which one it was.
That one.
It's Hurts. It's a deep ball. Looking for Devontae Smith. What a catch!
Before we get done again.
when he cut to when we saw this on Red Zone, I remember watching it because even Scott Hansen was like, he was blown away. I mean, the fact that he was in double coverage, he still beat him. I mean, I think his touchdown pass that came on the next play was just as good, but I just watched that going, that is phenomenal.
I mean, Phil, you texted straight away saying catch of the week, didn't you?
Yes, as soon as he did it, catch of the week. And then the next play, I think I put in the next one, actually, that could be catch of the week as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, there was one as well. That was he was another toe drag swag on the sideline.
Yeah.
That was just about because he was over the blind shoulder, and almost a bit like
for a receiver, double coverage is almost like the death sentence. That's essentially you saying the entire game I'm going to be starving, and the fact that he outjumped him, landed, got the ball secure, managed to keep his feet in the right place. It's perfect. I loved it. He was so good.
Got carried as well by the DB for a yard or two on his shoulder.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, without having the ball stripped, and he looked like he landed hard. I mean,
oh yeah,
people forget that. I mean, Ollie, we've played. Even when wearing pads, you can still hit the ground hard.
It hurts.
Very little protection. You're hitting the ground hard.
I was lucky. I was the one. Well, we both played D. It's normally we're the one hitting you hard, and you do get hit. I mean, when they're off the line and all that, you do get hit quite hard when they're coming off the line. The wide receivers try and make that space.
I took for granted because the years that I played defensive end and defensive tackle, it is the hitting. And then when I switched to playing tight end for 2 seasons, I then took for granted how much my arms were just getting an absolute paling. It's not necessarily just the tackling on the chest and the legs. It's what you get hit on the arms because everyone's trying to strip the ball from you. It's something that I took for granted up until I played tight end.
I always wore long sleeves. I didn't care if it was 200 degrees outside. I would still wear long sleeves. I want my arms left in peace.
I mean, the thing is as well is a couple of the quarterbacks that I played with, they weren't always as great as getting the ball to. Really, really good players.
Yes.
But they weren't so,
we had about.
if you see my
quarterbacks
picture
on
on the
Monday.
load-in, I'm wearing pink gloves because I remember buying the pink gloves because I told my quarterback, "You'll know it's me because I'm the only one on the pitch that has pink gloves." So it doesn't matter what the weather. You see the pink gloves open, I'm going to get the ball.
The funny thing is about gloves. So I think it's about the third or fourth training session I attended. So it was like non-padded session. The quarterback goes, "I've noticed you not got any gloves. Have my old ones." Oh, sweet. He throws a pass off. What do I do? Picked him off with his gloves.
Pick him right back off you. You ain't having them anymore.
Yeah. Going back onto my catch week, because I'm going to show Shane's last for obvious reasons. Mine is, yes, okay, I've gone Patriots again. And
Patriots player of the week, players catch of the week.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
But come on, this
Anyone,
is a
anyone
great
swear he's
catch.
been to Boston?
Look, I mean, it is almost as
Look
good
at
as
the drag.
Kings. It was
Look at the drag.
Oh.
Juices
I
was
love it.
better. Juices
This-
was better.
that was
Oh
it.
my God.
Back show.
Ollie, play it one more time. Play it one more time. I just want to see the toes just tap and go out.
Go on then.
Just watch this. Watch this. It secures the ball.
Don't.
Poof. There
Look
we
at that
go. He
stop
looks
as well.
down. He
It's-
knows he
yeah.
made it.
That's wide receiving 101, that, isn't it?
My favorite one. This is my favorite one. Oh, yes.
That was awesome.
Brilliant.
Yeah, go on then, Shane. You called this one pretty much straight away.
I did, as soon as I knew. I was watching the highlights Friday morning.
Oh, that was good.
This guy is an absolute freak. There's a reason he went so early in the draft, and the fact that there's so much hype behind him. What an absolute freak. And I called that Thursday night because I knew nothing would be better than that. And it wasn't, in my opinion.
I mean, when OBJ tweets that catch is filthy, you know it's a good catch.
Oh my
Unreal.
God.
Absolutely unreal.
It was unbelievable. I mean, one-handed, it looked like he levitated. The DB had his hand on him as well, and yet he still managed to secure it. One-handed, bring it in. It's like...
And for a rookie, for a second-round rookie too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Insane. Phil, would you like to warm your voice up?
It's time.
Okay, then let me get it up, gents. This week in footballing history, New England quarterback Tom Brady made his first NFL start and won his first game with the Patriots in a 44-13 win versus Hall of Famer Peyton Manning and week 3 in the 2001 season. So this is not long after Drew Bledsoe unfortunately went down.
Wiped out by a Jets player. Absolutely obliterated.
It was right in front of. Was it right in front of Tom as well? Like it was so
right
close.
Right in front of him and the Patriots coaching staff, and they saw him get up, and he was like, "Yeah, you're not with it at all." So
it's mad to think if that tackle didn't happen, football history wouldn't be the same.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe you'd have slightly less, Super Bowls. Maybe Tom Brady still would have been known as quarterback 3 on the depth charts on the early Madden games from the early 2000s.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, mad, isn't it?
Who would have genuinely thought 21 years ago, a week or so? Because don't forget, when the 9/11 terrorist attacks happened, there were no footballing games that week. Everything was cancelled that week.
Yeah.
So
That's right.
I don't know if memory serves me right, but was this then the second or third games that were played after football had resumed?
It was the third game after 9/11.
Okay.
I can tell you the first public gathering after 9/11 was a SmackDown taping in Houston. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at you with your wrestling knowledge.
Of course I know that.
So who would have thought genuinely 21 years ago, Tom Brady, a couple of years in the league, Peyton Manning, a couple of years in the league, they would essentially define what the NFL stood for the next 15 years.
Mad.
Oh, yeah.
In terms of
Absolutely
excellence. Like we went from, and I hate to bring 49ers royalty into it, but we went from that 80s period of Marino versus Montana. Then we went in the 90s with Steve Young and Aikman and Brett Favre and all those. And then the quarterbacks that are playing now grew up in high school and college and mimicked their styles watching Brady and Manning. That's insane.
And now they're still playing against them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
One of them, anyway.
Against Brady.
Oh, right. Are we ready for snippet number 2?
Number 2.
Yes, please.
Right then. Patriots head coach Bill Belichick won his first game with the team in a 28-19 win at the Broncos in week 5 of the 2000 season. He started his first season with New England at 1-4, but then finished it 5-11. So that was one of only 5 victories that Bill Belichick had at that point in his head coaching of the Patriots.
Proving again it was Brady, not Belichick.
Trust the system. Trust the system. So again, who would have thought that 22 years later, the guy who finished 5-11 with Drew Bledsoe would still be in the league with 6 Super Bowls and often get referred to as the GOAT of head coaches?
Can I actually say he's actually got 8 rings? He won 2 with New York Jets.
Yes, he did. That's right.
Yeah,
6 as a head coach.
6 as a head coach. Yeah.
So then do we say that, hold on, what's his name? George Fleetwood has 5 rings, and so he has more than Bill Walsh?
Possibly, yeah. You could put it that way, yeah.
I mean, I would tend to think of it being a start. That's why I don't count Jimmy Garoppolo's rings, because he wasn't a starter. I mean,
You're unbelievable. Is you a quarterback? What? You're unbelievable.
He's not my quarterback. He's not my quarterback.
He's mine.
So yeah, who would have thought that? Coming back round to, and I'm really sorry for
number 3
non-49ers fans. However, this isn't really 49ers news. This is more relevant to John Lewis. Hall of Famer wide receiver Jerry Rice became the all-time leader in career scrimmage yards, surpassing Hall of Famer running back Walter Payton in the Raiders' 52-25 win versus the Titans in week 4 of the 2002 season. Jerry Rice's record stands to this very day.
Jerry Rice is an absolute.
Jerry Rice looks like he can still play now.
He is the GOAT of any. He is the GOAT of wide receiver.
I mean, again, I think, Ollie, we take things for granted sometimes because obviously we're 49ers fans and it's ingrained into us that Jerry Rice is this unbelievable talent. But for like NFL fans that got into it during like the Patriots' glory years of the 2000s or the Odell Beckhams, kind of like that famous catch that he's known for. So many people take for granted how great Jerry Rice was.
John's got a question for you.
One more than Jimmy G.
I'll tell you what, Johnny. I quite like you. I quite liked you a lot. I don't anymore. But Trent Dilfer.
That's awesome.
If you go back and listen to any of that 52-man roster of the side, Trent Dilfer was the only one that was not given a ring for that Super Bowl victory because he didn't bloody deserve it, and he literally contributed nothing to that team. I'm sorry. I hate him. Sorry, Trent. No,
I hate him.
Should we go to modern day football?
England, Trent? Don't think so. You also stole money from the 49ers when you were facilitating your existence for that one season. There was another 2 pieces of news. One that I already had, and another one that other Ollie gave me just before the
change it again. That's not me this time.
So, all right. Two more. All right. This week in footballing history, Steve Young, the great Steve Young, played his last game as a 49er in a week 3 Monday night match against the Arizona Cardinals. I think it was his 7th concussion.
Concussion.
Steve Young is my all-time favorite Niner, and he was the 49ers quarterback. I mean, Trent, if you're listening, he's what a quarterback should be. I'm
gonna have to tag him in a show one day.
He was.
I tag Trent every week.
And you know what he did? He doesn't even listen. That's how low we are to him. Steve Young is my all-time favorite Niner. He was my quarterback growing up. He's the one that I first remembered. And he's kind of who I compare every quarterback that the 49ers have had since. And a lot of them have
that's a high bar.
And it is. And again, we take for granted that as 49ers fans, we had a very smooth, easy transition from Montana to Steve Young. And we can even throw Jeff Garcia into that bracket
Oh,
as
we
well.
had that
Because Wes
transition.
Butley was a very good quarterback. And the last bit of 49er news in this week in footballing history. To all 49er fans out there, remember that we still have Jimmy Garoppolo and no one else wants him.
That's very relevant news, that is.
This is really important news, guys. All right, there are 31 other teams in the league. Why does the Saints still have Winston? Why didn't the Commanders want him?
They did.
Why
Why
is
do we
Saints
still have
still
Jimmy
playing
Garoppolo in
with
our life?
broken back
The-
Winston?
The Commanders did want him.
But they didn't want him enough. All right,
Shall we
that
go on
was
to this
it.
week? Shall we go on to week 4, gentlemen?
Yes. Get him on, Trent.
London, baby, London. Right, we'll
London's
talk about tonight's game
calling.
because tonight's going to be a
Sorry,
bloody
hold
good
on.
game.
Just before we go into the London game, sorry. Does anyone else find it absolutely vexing when the NFL use that song every year when they play the London game?
I love it.
Because I hate it when the WWE do it. I hate it when the NFL do it. It just gets on my tits. Like, it really does.
You would think being global brands, they hire someone to do a bit of research and be like, right, try this or try something else, not the same song all the time.
Well, at least they don't use London Bridge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So tonight's game. We'll start with tonight's game. Let's get that one going.
Yeah, this is a matchup, isn't it?
Eli Apple, didn't he slate Terry Kill in a tweet?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Tyreek Hill came back.
Yeah. That's going to be a great matchup with those two.
Have you seen what Tua said?
No.
What did Tua come back?
Tua's come out and said, if Tyreek Hill 1-on-1 with Eli Apple, he's getting the ball.
That's the problem with the Dolphins' offense, isn't it? Waddle, Hill. Who are you going to match up? Who are you going to double match up?
I like it.
Yeah, I mean, Shane knows, and I know, unfortunately.
Indeed, but indeed.
You know, who do you pick? You know, it's really, really difficult. It looks like Joe Burrows and the offense has sorted it out, admittedly against an average Jets defense, which is a bit strange considering they
Average
had
at best.
Sauce Gardner and Jermaine Johnson in that defense. So they had two really, really good rookies picked up this year. But yeah, it is going to be a proper shootout. It is going to be more of a shootout than it was against the Bills, I think, because they're not going to be playing in 100-degree heat. So that's going to help them. How fit is Tua? How fit is Waddle? It's the two big questions. And can Cincinnati still keep Joe on his feet? That's the three big questions they've got.
Yes.
And what's toffee apple going to taste like?
Bitter.
Because to be fair, Hill's going to put him on toast all day long. We've got to talk about the game because I know at least myself and Ollie are going to be there. But Saints are going to be repping these bad boys, which I love. I think they are.
And Saints are going to be losing to the Vikings.
It is. It's a shame that the Saints are coming a fairly injury hit team now.
Yeah.
You know, you're playing with a quarterback who's got 4 broken bones in his back, or fractured discs or something like that in his back.
Kamara and Thomas are both questionable.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly, Olave is coming on to be a hell of a player.
He is. He was rookie of the month, I think it is.
Yeah, it looks that way. He's looking really, really good.
Yeah, it's been class. Fair play to him.
I'm hoping that we get a competitive match because it always seems to be in London that more often than not, it seems to be more of a blowout.
Yeah.
You know, I remember one game that went into overtime that was Cincy, Washington.
Yeah.
Which is overtime, and it was literally, that was probably one of the best games I've seen.
I've
seen Jags blow out teams in Wembley
I think we all thought Jags Dolphins was heading to overtime last year.
Yeah.
As I've said, the guy who I was sat next to went to the toilet to get ready for overtime and missed a field goal.
A
bit like Ollie going to get a beer and missing the best play of the other game.
Yeah.
The Ravens have been to London once, and the less we talk about that, the better.
Oh, that was a Blake Borsall masterclass, wasn't
it? They blew us apart. I couldn't believe it. And ever since then, John said we are not going back.
I mean, Niners are 2-0 in London.
Yep.
Patriots are 2-0 as well.
I was at the Jags game a couple of years ago, and when we absolutely destroyed them, and it was so weird watching prime Colin Kaepernick destroy Jacksonville. It was beautiful.
I mean, watching Troy Smith at quarterback is what made me a Niner fan.
Yeah, but you still Tebow. You're still Tebow.
Oh, yes. So, unfortunately, I'm going to get back to the Patriots losing to Green Bay, so we won't talk about that game. There's quite a few. I'm going to say this is a fairly weak matchup of games this week compared to what we've had the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah,
There's no Hollywood games.
Yeah.
Isn't there? Isn't there?
We know Sky doesn't like the Ravens.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and how annoying is that? But like I said, yeah, the biggest game, well, there's 2 games stand out to me this week. Obviously, the Ravens and the Bills. And the Jags and the Eagles be interesting.
I think the Jags might turn the Eagles over, you know.
Yeah,
I think that Jaguar defense is very, very good. 10 points they've given up in the last 2 games.
Have we got that in the predictions?
No, we haven't this week.
A game that I'm actually feeling quite a lot is potentially the Lions against the Seahawks.
Do you want to see the Lions to eat some seagulls?
Oh, I mean, I'd love to. It's actually a bit of a fantasy of mine every time the Seahawks lose. But like genuinely,
can we just be real? They're the sea chickens.
No one called them the seagulls, so they're the seagulls in this household.
They're the sea chickens. And the Lions are going to have chicken on toast.
It's going to be good. I mean, the Cowboys are going to roll over the Commanders. I could see that.
Yeah.
Bears and Giants, that could be an interesting game. They're 2-2-1 teams.
Aaron Rodgers is going to eat Bill Belichick for breakfast.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd say this, but the 3 best games are the primetime games.
Are Las Vegas finally going to get a win? Divisional matchup against the Broncos.
Yes, John, but we get to the primetime games later.
Mahomes versus Brady.
That was on my tongue, that was.
It's goat versus baby goat again.
Yeah, it's the prime. As I said, the best 3 games are the primetime games.
Which is rare, because last week, the primetime games, I think Phil said this on Monday night, the primetime games were the worst games.
Yeah.
Sunday's games were... I've watched Sunday and 60 on Game Pass. The Sunday games were superb.
They were.
Really, really good. There was brilliant catches, brilliant plays, on both sides of the ball. It was superb.
Yeah.
But this week, it's completely different. For once, the primetime games are the games that go, wow, these games should be standout, all 4 of them. Cause I would even call the London game team primetime because for them, it's 9:30 in the morning.
I mean, on the East Coast, it's 6:30. In the West Coast, it's 6:30 in the morning. that in prime time.
That's bedtime.
We were in a shop on can't remember days. Could have been Saturday, possibly. Going, oh, we love it. They were saying, oh, we love it when you got the London games because you get 4 games. You get breakfast, lunch, supper, dinner. They loved it. They loved
it's great. It's great when things like that do happen because, as everyone knows, I'm a long-standing wrestling fan, and it's not fun staying up till 1 a.m. once a month to watch a pay-per-view. It's nice, especially in Saudi Arabia. The Clash in the Castle a few weeks ago, I was actually at that show, but it's nice to actually watch things in our prime time for a change.
The witching hour is a bit disappointing for me, John, because we were winning, then we lost.
Wins become losses and losses become wins. But Shane, I agree. I mean, we've been wrestling. We talk quite a lot about professional wrestling, and it is absolutely brilliant when you see it from like the other side of the pond, where remember we had NXT London a couple of years ago.
Yes,
and it was at Wembley Arena. I was at that event with some friends of ours, and it was great to see 7 o'clock here watching it live. Whilst in America, it's like their early afternoon time, and it was amazing having it flipped in like Clash of the Castle, being able to watch it at a sociable hour with my friends.
5:30 in the afternoon,
Yeah,
oh,
I can go home.
Right.
On to predictions,
gentlemen.
The newbies are currently kicking the old guard's ass, aren't they?
Oh, the veterans aren't doing very well, are we? It's not good. It really isn't good. I mean, Okay, it's only week 3, so we'll
Yeah.
give him a chance. We've got to give him a couple of game head start, mate. So the games we have gone for are the London game because it's London and we've got to do that one. Bears and
Yep.
Giants, Jets Steelers, and the Goat versus Baby Goat. The Bucks
Okay.
versus the Chiefs. Alphabetical order. Phil, would you like to go first?
Right. So, London game. I'm gonna. You know what? The Vikings always have a great support when they come and play in London.
Yeah, they do.
I'm gonna go Minnesota.
Nice.
I'm going Minnesota.
I think New Orleans are very beaten up.
Yeah. What's the next one? Bears and Giants.
Bears and
Yeah.
Giants, yeah.
Bears and Giants. I think. Oh god, that's gonna be. I think the Giants.
Yep.
Because I still think, as much as I like Justin Fields, I think there's so many question marks around the rest of that organization. Steelers against Jets. I think the Steelers are going to win.
You're going for Pitsy.
I
Wow.
am going for Pitsy.
Sorry, question. Who's starting at quarterback?
Mitch.
We
You
discussed this on Monday.
Yeah.
Okay. I must have forgotten.
I don't think it's time for. It's not K time yet. And then lastly, I think. Oh God, because they're both going to want revenge after what happened the previous week. I'm gonna go with Brady and the Bucks.
You go Tampa.
Yeah.
Shane, as you're leading the way with Phil on 6.
I'm going to go with the Vikings because I'm a huge fan of Justin Jefferson. And as Phil said, they always bring a good following, whether it's from Minnesota or in the UK itself. So I'm going to go with Minnesota.
I'll be supporting the Vikings this week.
It's a good idea, but it's a good idea.
My friend that I'm going with is a Vikings fan.
Who you went to San Fran with?
Yes, the guy I went to San Fran with.
The second best purple team in the NFL. Giants Bears.
Yeah.
Giants. Yeah, I think Saquon's going to continue his re-emergence, shall we say?
As long as he doesn't get injured, so he can't see him next week.
Yeah, yeah. Let's give him a couple of plays. Let's not go nuts.
Yeah.
But no, I think the Giants will win. And then it was Jets and Steelers.
Yep.
Zach Wilson. I think he'll come back and being as much as I dislike the Steelers anyway, I'm going to go for the Jets in that one.
Ollie, you got Kelly's down.
Yeah.
Saints, Giants, Jets, Chiefs.
And do you know what? I'm going to side with your beautiful misses on the last one there, Ollie, and I'm going to go with the Chiefs as well.
Nice. Mr. Hope. Age before beauty. I should be going first one.
Vikings, I mean, as same reason.
Yep.
G-Men, same reason.
Yep.
Pittsburgh, I just think the Jets are too depleted. They have a few injuries too. And I just think the Steelers, Najee Harris, George Pickens, I think their offense is too overpowering, even with their questionable quarterback. And Mahomes over Brady.
KC. See, I am going to make a clean sweep of Minnesota. I think New Orleans are too battered, too beaten up.
I mean, usually when it's a clean sweep, they go and lose.
Yeah.
I'll be the the last 2 weeks.
I'm also going to make a clean sweep with New York. I think they're...
Get your Bears Saints doubles on, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I hear what you're saying about New York Jets being a bit injury prone. I just think, as I said earlier, I just think they now open the playbook a bit more with Zach back at the helm. And there's going to be plays that New York or Pittsburgh haven't seen so far this season because Joe Flacco hasn't been able to do it. So I am going for a New York double this weekend. And I don't know. I just think Kansas is going to be too strong for Tampa.
That makes things interesting because we've all gone different.
We have. There is apart from one, and I've broken my pen. Apart from one, we've all gone the same way. The whole have I broken my bloody pen?
That's live.
Yeah.
That's live TV for you, but that's live TV for you.
We just popped it down and springs all over the place. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. There's something not right with that Tampa Bay franchise at the moment. Brady doesn't look happy. He's smashing up tablets. Well, that's not a first. He normally does smash up tablets. He did it once in New England.
He's been told he's not allowed.
Yeah. They're making basic errors. I mean, that 2-point they went for against Tampa Bay, and they weren't set to tie the game, and they lost the game because they, delay game, and they had to go back 5 yards. That changes everything completely. You have a 2-point yard playbook, as Phil knows. When you're going for 2 points, you've got several plays that are set out for these 2 points as well as run, pass, RPOs, or something like that. And it then opened the playbook more, but it gave the Packers more of a chance to get into it. And I just don't think they're not quite there yet at the Todd Bowles.
Yeah. I mean, special teams as a whole, I mean, it gets overlooked because even when I played at university, special teams are almost like at the end of every training session. I mean, for like our football fans, if you remember, like at the end, if you ever played football, sometimes you'd have like a penalty shootout to end the training session with, like, everyone gets to try and take a penalty against the goalkeeper. That's how special teams is often done. It's either at the end of the week or at the end of a training session. And
we did it tonight for my son's team.
Sorry?
We did it tonight for my son's team.
Yeah.
And
it's
parents shooter. Kids love it.
Yeah. And it's true, but like elite sports level, that's kind of how they treat special teams. That's how we treated special teams. Well, it's a necessary part of the game. No one really wants to do it. It's often pitched at the wrong time. But if you've got those plays, and those are plays that you are determined to use, and you often have a playbook of possibly up to 5 scenarios that you can go with and that you drill. So that one that they went with, they would have theoretically practiced it over and over and over and over and over again, so that you could essentially sleepwalk through it like they do with the offense, like they do with the defense. But for it to be executed so poorly, that is quite alarming. That it really, really is.
Yeah, I mean, it's mad how it is. I forgot what I was going to say. I did say something in my head, but I forgot completely.
Sorry,
what it was. No, it is what it is. It's old age and jet lag, mate. It's fine. It comes to us all, man. But yeah, I completely agree with you. It should have been drilled into. They should have known. Crap, we got 9 seconds. They should be motioning across earlier, but they weren't. They were just, oh crap, we got to do this. I think I was about to say.
So we've got Saints, Giants, Steelers, coin toss for John.
No, well, that's going to be a Chiefs win then. We know Patrick Mahomes wins a coin toss. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been another action-packed show. A fun show. I haven't laughed so much during a show for a long time. It's been great.
It's a jet lag.
Yeah. Oh no.
I'm not funny, honest.
Oh no, man! It was such a good. I'm so glad to be back, and I've really enjoyed being back on the show with you guys.
We've missed you, mate.
Yeah.
100%.
Shane, Ollie, Phil, thank you very much for joining in. Ladies and gentlemen, stay safe.
Bye, guys. Cheers, guys.